Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned into another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. Your daily dose of not just the news, but answers that you can use. Like an answer to the question, Chris, how do you get review units? It's a great question. I just answered it in a separate Q&A video recorded live just a few minutes earlier. You can tune into all the live streams that we do and get tons of other bonuses. All you got to do is head over to our Patreon campaign. ChrisPirillo.com will redirect you there starting at just $2 a month. Tons of bonuses. You want your name in every one of my videos? You can get that. I'm promising. The videos that we do, like this video, you can get your name in it. And tons of others, like the weekly Apple show that we're now doing. That's a bonus. The CPU videos, that's a bonus. The live programs that we do, bonus. Bonuses all around, especially for those who, go the extra mile. I'm happy to go the extra mile for you. You're kind of like my executive producers, kind of. Not exactly, but, close enough. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Today, I want to remind everybody that we're producing Vlogger Fair, the event for vloggers, at least, August 22nd, 2015. Still working on GnomeDex dates. GnomeDex is going to be the event for geekier, nerdier social video types. I hesitate to put them in a box of just YouTubers because it's now YouTube and Vine and Periscope and, I guess Meerkat to a certain degree, Instagram, and who cares what social video platform they use, including Twitch. Twitch is another big one. You are more than welcome to join us at GnomeDex or Vlogger Fair later this year. We're going to be posting ways to light up your life in conjunction with my Pro 160 LED light panel review. That's the light panel I'm using in front of me. I don't know if you can see that I'm kind of brighter here. It's because of the light there. It looks a lot like, well, it doesn't look a lot like, it is this. I did a review, and that will be posted to my classic YouTube channel. It's what I'm currently using, and I may be a little hot, and I don't mean heat temperature-wise. I mean, I just flicked it on, and I seem to be glowing, and since I don't plan on coming too close to the camera, I shouldn't, glow more or less. I'm not a lighting geek. I'm not a production geek. How many times do I have to say this? About as many times as I have to say, there's really no comparison between an iPhone and any other product. Because I answer that question a lot too. We're also going to be sharing X ways to start your day. We found a few different fun things that you might be able to use to jumpstart your day. That's in conjunction with my Starbucks tiramisu latte taste test review. Tried it, did a video. It's already in the other channel. We've got the Zero Lemon Solar Juice 10,000, I almost said 1,000 milliamp hours, which wouldn't be much. 10,000 milliamp hour battery, 47% off. You're looking for an external battery, a charger, 47% off for you. TowerMadness for Android, and, oh, by the way, TowerMadness for Android, currently got for free. You can get it too. Mammoth Interactive iOS, Swift, and Bootcamp. These are courses, education, you can learn. 96% off. Wow, 96% off. And all these discounts and deals at deals.lockergnome.com. Today is a series of answering questions. Chris Pirillo answering question. I asked in yesterday's TLDR if you want me to do these TLDR broadcasts with AMA, AMA short for Ask Me Anything, because I typically do them on Fridays and Mondays, typically slower news days, and it's worked for me. But I also know that some people want something a little more substantial. I've been I've been doing impromptu Periscope AMAs. If you can find out, you can follow me on Periscope. You can you get the Periscope links when I tweet them out when I'm ready to live stream, when I can. And then for 5 minutes or so, I'll just rapid fire question. Kimberly Johns has the honor of asking the first question today. Other than Star Wars, what is your second biggest nerd obsession? Second biggest nerd obsession beyond Star Wars. I don't know if I have an obsession beyond that. Lego, I'm attracted to Lego. I guess that's kind of an obsession. Minifigures specifically. I'm attracted to minifigures. In an obsessive kind of way. Not like, that awkward attraction kind of way. I don't know if it's reciprocated either. I don't know if Lego minifigures love me as much. Kimberly Johns continues with the second question. I've got another one. She asks if there was, say, a zombie apocalypse and you've done good for a few years, had plenty of food stored, learned to hunt, were doing great, but then the food supply of canned goods ran out. The hunting was scarce because the zombie hordes were eating all the animals, and in your scavenging, you found a field of corn. It's been days since you ate. Would you eat it? That was a fantastic ramp up. I got to give you credit. Chances are, yes, I would. I would have to stomach it. I would have no choice. Eat corn or survive. I mean, I'm not going to sit there, I would rather die. No, I don't think that's ever going to come to that. I'd probably throw up a lot, but at least I'd eat. I think, in that state, I'd have no choice. My goal is, though, when the zombie apocalypse is upon us, is to move to a state before then where corn does not exist as a crop. Yeah. So that way I never have to worry about eating corn in a zombie apocalypse. Brian H. asks, currently, what is your favorite TV show and why? Honestly, I subscribe to a few. I pointed out one of the apps that I use in the TLDR of what's on my iPhone the other day, which is now a patron exclusive. The app constantly tells me of shows that are running that I like, and when there's a new one that's aired. But I would say Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. I really enjoy that. And it could be that there's nothing else on that's as compelling to me, but I really enjoy that show. I would say that that's the one that I'm watching because good characters, good writing. I've begun to appreciate more and more of the MCU. I'm learning more as I go along. The story is very well paced. I'm always left wanting more, and that's how I know. When you ask why is that my favorite show, because I'm always left wanting more. I don't want it to end, and that's how you know it's a good TV show. Mitchell C. McClendon asks, hello, Chris. Since the upgrade to OS X Yosemite from OS X Mavericks, what are some of the things that you noticed that set apart? Are there any similarities between these two operating systems that you might share? Well, I've never really done a comparison side by side, and I know there are a lot of new features in Yosemite, but I turned a lot of the ones that they're, saying are good off, like I can't even tell you the feature name. I turned it off, where you're typing an email here on your phone, and then you walk up to your Mac, and then it appears. That annoyed me. It really annoyed the hell out of me. Turned it off. Continuity? No, that's Parallels. So many words, so many labels, so many features, and I cannot remember what they call that. Well, that's the feature. Turned it off. More than anything, the visual differences are probably the most compelling for me in terms of moving from earlier versions of OS X to Yosemite. I guess I've grown accustomed to it. I couldn't even tell you how long Yosemite's been out. I'm just used to it now. So I couldn't even tell you, apart from, some of those major features, which I, again, turned off or I don't use. I'm not the use case for them, necessarily. Apart from visual differences. I mean, I like not black mode, but you can turn the toolbar from having a white background to black, and I did that almost immediately, and I've had that for since the beginning. Not perfect in terms of execution, but I've been doing it since the beginning. The differences, I guess, to me have been rather negligible. I can't say that I've had a better life because of Yosemite or a worse life because of Yosemite. The integration that they've driven to or are driving towards in terms of making a seamless experience between your mobile or iOS devices and your OS X devices, typical laptops, MacBooks, or desktops like iMacs, they're driving towards that. And I think there's much more seamlessness between those two platforms, all within the Apple ecosystem. And I think that is probably the biggest difference between the two of them. JC Ernst asks, this isn't for your AMA, but your show and tell. Oh, okay. I learned about Napa Japan on the Just Japan podcast. They sell treats from Japan that you might want to try out. Okay. Thank you for making the recommendation. Joe Tashi asks, hey, Chris, do you think Periscope should allow people to view from their web browsers? Also, did you know you can buy cereal marshmallows on Amazon? So good. P.S. Thanks for being awesome. You're awesome, Joe. And Joe, every day I'm reminded of you because I've got the Darth Vader, the chalice that you sent along as a Christmas present. I see it every day, and I'm reminded of you, Joe. I remember. Okay, so in terms of Periscope allowing people to view within the web browser, you can when it's live. That's good. You can't after it's live, and I think that's mildly frustrating, but I understand why they're trying to track users, and it makes sense. So like right now, if I go to my Periscope app, which I love, like I said, I you can watch at least a couple of AMAs earlier today, bonus AMAs. Last night, Jedi had her bacon chew, or not chew, toy. That's a dog thing. Teether, which is kind of like a chew toy. Might as well just call it a chew toy at this point. So I tweeted that one out, and it got amazing stats. It drove, let's see here, 1,000 likes, 177 replay viewers, and 934 live viewers on Periscope. And I don't have a ton of followers either. I've got only 3,600 followers on Periscope, but that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it all the time. So anyway, that's that's the bonus of using Periscope, is just more access, easier access. I do wish I could watch it within the web browser afterwards, but at the same time, most people, because of the way Periscope's set up, most people will record or stream in the vertical orientation, which makes for horrible viewing in a desktop web browser. So it's optimized specifically for smartphone screens. I would like to be able to, but at the same time, I think Periscope just needs to be improved in so many ways. Video stabilization, being able to turn the camera around by default, because when I'm doing like selfie type of videos, I have to flip the camera around immediately. And I'm trying to think like a producer that way. And I also wish I had a timer telling me how long I've been doing something. There are certain things that I think Periscope will or should improve upon. But, for a first generation app, I think it's done a rather outstanding job at that. I wish, you could do the web view, but Periscope would have to improve a few things, including video quality, for me to even care about that. Yes, I did know about cereal and marshmallows you could buy separately. I think we featured them in the vlog a long time ago. It was like a footnote. Diana wanted them, and so I think they got sent to us by the one company that makes them. Freeze-dried marshmallows, I think, is what they are. They are pretty good. Diana loves them. Kimberly Johns asks, when Diana gets mad at you, does she call you by your full name? Hon? Well, no. No is the answer, by the way. She does get mad at me, but she calls me names that I cannot repeat in this video. Earl Green. From what I've been reading in the news, it appears that the Samsung Galaxy S6 may be a big success for Samsung. This is somewhat of a surprise to me, since I thought they'd be alienating their core customer base with the changes they made to their S6. What are your thoughts? Haven't had the experience of this Samsung Galaxy S6, but I know that they have improved upon the general TouchWiz experience. And, while they've eliminated the removable battery, the expandable storage, some of the things that, would have been a compelling argument to go with the Samsung Galaxy S6, that the same could be said for the opposite argument. I really don't like my cologne today. I'm wearing Irish Cream to test it. Initially, it smells amazing, but now it just smells like, I know that smell and I don't like it. And I can't name it. Anyway, sorry, I'm off track. Samsung Galaxy S6. Ugh. Hopefully it doesn't smell like my cologne. So some people may have been looking for that. Maybe they didn't like the Samsung Galaxy S6 because it had removable batteries or had removable storage. Maybe they wanted more of a unibody type of design like they'd grown accustomed to with an iPhone. So, they're moving the ball forward. They're leaving some people behind, but potentially, opening themselves up to a greater group of people, making a much more compelling argument to competing against the iPhone directly, rather than differentiating in features. They're trying to differentiate in overarching experience. So I think it remains to be seen whether or not that will be a successful move. I don't fault them for it. I haven't used it. I have no drive to be someone who's going to buy the Samsung Galaxy S6, since I wouldn't use it. If I had a chance to review it, I would, absolutely. I haven't had that chance. Not chasing it either. I'm really not much of a smartphone geek, as much as other people are. I could look at it and tell you, yes, this is better than previous generations. Yes, this compares favorably with other Android devices in this, this year at least. I'm just not inclined to do a lot of comparisons, especially cross-platform comparisons, because there's so many differences between one platform and the next, beyond pricing, beyond manufacturing. They're just... Big differences. I'm much more inclined to compare an Android device against another Android device than I am to compare an Android device, say, against a device that's running the BlackBerry OS. So Earl, that's my thoughts. On the Samsung Galaxy S6. Am I surprised? Not necessarily. I haven't had the experience, but I think the argument could be made either way. Adam Toms asks, "Hey Chris, with the deletion of the expanded universe, well, it's not really deletion. It's the EU has moved into Legends from the main Star Wars canon. Is there anything you hope they port over?" I like the black story, the backstory of Darth Plagueis. I thought was very well done. I'd like to see different tales ported over, like tales from Jabba's palace, tales from the Cantina. I thought getting backstories on those not very well elevated creatures would be nice to see, nice to have. And I think they could pick and choose from there. You wouldn't have to take the whole thing and bring it into canon. But these are characters, any characters that aren't a part of the big timeline, the major characters, I would like to see, without destroying continuity, some stories, some of the backstories of these more compelling characters brought to light. So, for example, I really hungered for more information on Sifo Dyas, if only because his name was mentioned in Attack of the Clones. So I really appreciated the final Clone Wars cartoon series, where the Clone Wars was a cartoon series, but seeing a little bit about Sifo Dyas, and I wanted more. Just like when Palpatine was talking about Plagueis, I was like, okay, well this sounds interesting. The only information we have at this point about Darth Plagueis, beyond what was really truly mentioned in Revenge of the Sith, apart from bits and pieces here and there, is Legends now. So I would like to see, almost like a refinement, and I almost wonder if, like, let's say, for example, Darth Plagueis. What if they took that book and someone canonized it? Someone took it and made it canon proper. So it was lifted out of Legends and made canon. Or made modifications such that it was now officially canon. I'd like that. And I think it would be difficult to do, but it would also, help propel the stories. I'm still trying to figure out how to do the next comic series of comic reviews. Talking about the Star Wars comics, talking about the Darth Vader comics, Princess Leia comics. I want to get The Last Padawan or Kanan. I want to get that one. I may be getting it this weekend. So it's really kind of a situation where they've got to be very careful about taking from Legends, because now they've got basically a story master, someone who's looking after characters and story and making sure there are little to no holes that exist with what Disney is trying to do. And I think it was long overdue. It's something that kind of pushed me away from a lot of the EU because it was just so overwhelming and I didn't know what to follow and I didn't know what story to believe. So as much as a lot of EU fans lambasted Disney for doing this, I actually supported them for doing this. Then again, I'm crazy and I like the 5 points of articulation figures, or at least some of them, not all of them. But I don't mind having 5 points of articulation, though Hasbro had recently produced, points, higher points of articulation on these 3 3/4 inch figures. So I know my opinion may not be a popular one, but it's still my opinion. Damn! I cannot tell you what I smell like. I know the scent and I don't like it. I don't want to have to take another shower today. It's like plasticky, but bad, or something like that. Okay, I think I've covered everything I needed to cover for the AMA today. I do have the patron hangout that I'm going to roll into now. I'm looking here at the questions. Ow! Okay, let me look here. See here? I'm just looking at the comments from the live stream. This is the closest thing we have to the chat room. Don't really see any questions, though, which is good, I guess. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm glad we had people watching. I'm happy when that happens. And so since that's pretty much all I had to say, and because I stink, I have a mess of things in front of me right now. I have to clean up. I really have to do a Star Wars haul. I've got so much Star Wars stuff in and around my desk. It's just I haven't figured out, well, how am I going to execute on it? And every day that goes by, I get like one new Star Wars thing. Like yesterday, the wax packs came in. I got a few bonus ones actually that I probably won't use that I may end up giving away to the patrons if they're interested. I think, what is it? The pledge level for giveaways is what, the $25 monthly pledge level. If you are one of those patrons and you're curious, if you want one, I may be able to send it to you because I've got a few of them. Well, the Darth Vader ones I'm keeping, obviously, but some Jabba, a Wicket, and a Luke Skywalker. Anyway, that's all I had to say today for the AMA. We've got even more. These are the patrons. They got the priority AMA today. The other AMA questions will be answered in the open Facebook thread that everybody can participate in. And as I said, I'm doing, or trying to do, daily impromptu AMA sessions and bonus Periscopes live streams at least once a day. You can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Periscope, follow me across all social. And I hope to talk to you soon. At least, answer questions soon, because I really like doing this. It is a Friday, which tends to be a more quiet day, but I'm very happy to finish these and wrap them up early in the morning for my day so that the people, or our patrons who live across the universe, the other side of the world, are able to tune in at a different time. So we do the live streams earlier in the day on Monday and Friday, later in the day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're trying to make everybody happy, bringing happiness to your life. I just wanted to remind you that I love you. I appreciate you, but I'm going to roll into the Patron Hangout. You're more than welcome to join us. At this point, however, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.